I feel like it's gonna be so awkward with us sitting in front of a camera singing.
It's alright. We just gotta be like, this is about to be the best presentation you ever seen. We just gotta make ourselves confident.
I know, you see, somehow the world will change for me and be free of slavery. Live life, free there. We know somehow we're gonna get there and be free of slavery. It's all for real. We're telling you just how we feel. So wake up the members of every nation. It's our time to free. There's no chance unless we take one. It's our time to see the brighter side of every creation. Some things are meant to be, and slavery is not one for you or me. One for you or me. One for you or me. It's time to be free.
I'm Nick,
And I'm Chris.
and on this episode of iCongo, we will be discussing how the Belgian Congo came to be
What happened during,
and how it ended.
with the help of our friend Greg.
Before this video starts, we do not at all condone the actions that are portrayed. Okay, so here's our friend Greg explaining how the Congo came to be.
At the Berlin West African Conference, areas of Africa were divided and distributed to the powers of Europe. The Congo, however, was not reclaimed and distributed because it was privately owned separately from any government. The area of the Congo was Leopold's separate empire, not at all influenced by the Belgian parliament as a colony.
Thanks, man. Now, why wasn't the Congo affected by the Berlin West Africa Conference?
At first, the colony was almost bankrupt until the first rubber tire was made in 1888 by John Dunlop. This is when King Leopold II started to extract the rubber in the most brutal ways to fuel the industrial growth of America and Europe.
Okay, so can you explain what the early years of the Congo were like?
So yeah, the early years of the Belgian Congo, they weren't too smooth for the Belgians. The rubber company was not going too smoothly, and it wasn't until they started to ramp up their production of the rubber and started to use harsh tactics to make the people work harder till King Leopold started to make money. Because during these years, the Belgians, they were pretty bankrupt, and they weren't able to get out of this bankruptcy unless they started to produce more rubber. So using those tactics, they was able to do this, and they were able to get out of bankruptcy and become a powerful nation.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
Now, folks, here's some real footage that's rare of a chief signing a treaty.
Little did the chief know that soon all of his people would become slaves of Leopold.
Now, what is this treaty thing?
Well, we kind of just want you to give us like all your land so we can trade with you. You'll get to live there. We just want to be rich.
But what if I want to become rich? I don't really need your help.
Like, here's like $7. You would like buy an airplane with that?
You think this is enough? Yeah. You're gonna have to do more than that.
Tell me now.
What's that? What's that?
This can kill you.
What's? No, please, no, please, please. I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want.
We have one more thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
This treaty signing shows the use of intimidation and the use of bribery through money and alcohol.
After treaties like this were signed, people that lived in those areas were forced to do all sorts of labor, such as collecting rubber.
The people of the Congo were also used as part of the public. That included slaves and the Belgian officials, and their job was to stop revolts, enforce collections, and were responsible for collecting hands.
If slaves acted against the slave owners, They would often whip the slaves as a form of punishment to show that they cannot act against them.
Every week, slave owners would check on the slaves to make sure they have collected their weekly quota. Oftentimes, the slaves will surpass this amount and not be punished. However, if the slave did not reach this amount, their hand or a hand of one of their family members would be cut off.
In the Belgian Congo, the resources for guns were so low that every time a bullet was shot, it had to be compensated with the hand of a slave. This scared the slaves into working harder so that no bullets had to be shot. So aside from any European affairs, the Congo had basically the worst slave treatment in history. Since there was no government and it was privately owned, those high in rank could do anything that they wanted.
Change began when riots broke out in the capital of the Congo, Leopoldville, on January 4th, 1959. These riots inspired many people of the Congo, giving them courage to rebel. All around the Congo, families were boycotting and resisting officials. With this new patriotism, the Parti Solidaire Africain was made, demanding independence of the Congo.
The Parti Solidaire Africain encouraged peaceful protest in the form of refusing to vote. The most successful areas of protest were the base Congo, where 5.7% of the 400,000 people voted, and the Quilla district, where only 1.2% of the 1.1 million people voted. Throughout the rest of the Congo, only 1/3 of the people would vote or participate in the census. Because the Congo was actually trying to establish a government, this made it extremely difficult without the cooperation of the people. After about a year of constant disobedience, the Congo finally gained independence on June 30th, 1960.
Thanks for checking out our episode on the Belgian Congo, how it became,
What happened during?
and how it ended.
We'd like to owe a big shout to our friend Greg for helping us create this episode.